you know, like for change to actually happen, there has to be someone to like present the ideas or like the vision or the, you know, just the embodiment or, you know, and it's not like the whole answer is coming through any one person, but it's like, here's my piece to offer, you know, like here's this piece that I'm like discovering within myself, and it will most likely trigger someone because it's just the nature of like transformation, you know? So that is like the other thing that I've just very recently, where I was, you know, there's like a few concepts or things on my heart that I want to go into deeper that I've been holding back a little bit. So there's some like concepts in my heart that feel really, really, really true for me. And my mind is telling me these other teachers, these other like women who are, you know, sharing that they wouldn't agree with this. Like they wouldn't agree. You know, like they would not agree with me at all. And and so this has just been totally like just happening in my own inner world. But these like sort of like connections that I've made or whatever, like over the years of doing this, where I'm like, I don't want them to see this. You know, like I don't want, like I'm scared of them thinking that I've gone too far, or I'm just like aloof and just like, you know, floating around in the vortexes of Sedona without her feet on the ground and like.
Welcome back to the series Codes of Avalon. Today we're going to be talking about the Dark Goddess and how much reverence that Chelsea and I both have for this fiercely loving, powerful aspect of life. This is a really powerful conversation, and I'm going to let the episode speak for itself. But if you have ever been a person who has been really intrigued and really drawn to the Dark Goddess or forces such as Isis or Kali Ma, or even the more wrathful aspects of Mary Magdalene, today's episode I think will be very powerful and very nourishing to your heart. There's a huge invitation with this transmission to just step into more fullness of who we are and even more of our power. So without any further ado, I hope you enjoy episode 5 of the Codes of Avalon.
How, in a nutshell, how beautiful the Dark Goddess is. And it's actually this thing that I find to be, at this point, I find it to be really quite beautiful. This relationship that we can take on with our own darkness, and how it actually is a gorgeous, like, it's a gorgeous endeavor, and it takes so much courage, you know. And it's like, if we could zoom out, just find like a bigger perspective of our own like human journey, and how much courage it's taken to go through, and like, and how much courage it takes to be human and to mess up and to like, you know, like do things that are awkward, and, you know, not always have like complete control over how we react to things. And, you know, it's like this messiness. It's like, you know, there's a lot of our own lives. I think I know that all of us can look into our own lives and be like, oh my God, that was such a chaotic mess. And like, almost there's this like gut punching sort of like guilt or like awkwardness or like, like ick feeling. And like, what if we could flip that and breathe into it and see like how beautiful the whole thing is. And even in those moments when we're having like those big releases and like crying, like, is there a part of you that can see how beautiful you are right now? Like how beautiful it is that you have the courage to work through what you're working through and to be doing what you're doing. And so this combination of like, I am all about the dark. Like I love the dark. Like I love it. And the reason that I love it is because I do truly, like, I see how beautiful the alchemy that takes place within a person. It's one of the most gorgeous things. Like when we see someone like break through. Yeah. It's so like, I'm like, I could cry because it's just like, that's so good. And so the Beauty Way teachings, it's kind of like this, to me, this sort of like daily way to handle the shadow. You know, and it's through the lens of beauty, and it's through this embodiment of like having standards of beauty around you and like really like owning that, and just being quite stubborn about it, actually. And so there's this like sort of like stubbornness and rigidness, you know, that kind of comes with it too, because which really is just discipline. Like within ourselves, like this kind of the way that I experience discipline, sometimes it can feel a little bit like rigid or, just like, this is how we do things sort of energy. But that is what helps me stay really like one foot in front of the other, because this is how we do things, you know, and like that kind of is always sort of like shifting within me, but there's this like intention and integrity of like, okay, but like, how can we connect to beauty right now? Like, how can we connect to how beautiful this is? This actually is like this really beautiful opportunity, always, always. And so, so that is kind of the like, the way that is like coming through me that I want to share more about. And I see other women sometimes who are like, I see how they are connected to the dark goddess, and it's like, I have a different connection, and like I have a different relationship. And to bring that, like how it's like, it feels like my relationship is so different to the table, sometimes feels like scary.
Wait, I want to, because you know, I'm also feel very strongly about going into like the depths and like how that is human empowerment for like humanity. But I go in through the earth and like through into the underworld, which is also the other world, which is also the inner world. And like, that's how I connect. But so I'm actually really curious, because I haven't seen many people actually speak about the dark. And actually really quickly, I want to mention, there is this beautiful, shining, beautiful person. And I won't say, but she's just like the embodiment of the most gorgeous energy. And she spoke about the dark goddess, and the dark queen is what she spoke about. And she was like, I tore off her crown or something. It was like, it hurt me physically to hear her be like, I am the embodiment of like the white queen, or like the golden queen, or like the princess. And she would like took the dark queen's throne, or I don't actually remember what it was, but the energy of the sharing was very beautiful from her essence. And it hurt me physically to hear that there was like seeing the dark queen or dark goddess as evil and dark, as the sorceress, as the embodiment of the dark feminine in an evil way. And it was like, something is so off. It like hurt me physically. I was like, whoa, like I didn't realize, and I haven't seen many people share about it, but I saw that maybe in the last like 6 months, and I was like, my system was shocked. I was like, how can you have that? How is that your perspective? And you embody the most beautiful essence. So, I mean, I don't know.
So how do you feel? What I mean with like, when we come forward and we like own these words, right? And we want to speak with, and that's a whole other like conversation, like language itself. But like, you know, there are particular words and like particular guides that give me particular names, like specific names, and like Sekhmet or Isis. And it's like, they have told me, but they like want me to use their name, where I would be so much more comfortable to somehow like write this in a way, or like share this in a way where it's more palatable to like a mainstream magazine or something, you know what I mean? Like, where I want to alter things. But for me, what has been true for me, it's like, please honor me with my name. Like, please honor, like honor this transmission and honor these are like real beings.
Yeah.
And that was, so anyway, but so like, yeah. So using something like the phrase of like the dark goddess, there's so many feelings, that like we have, that like I think a lot of people have like towards that concept alone. So I'm still like finding that confidence to like
reclaim it
and to do it in the way that I know I'm being guided.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sometimes when it comes down to like actually typing out the words and like getting it, together, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so like, okay, I'm working through this, I'm doing this, I'm posting this. And then it's just like, okay, all right. And then there is that like humanness of me that it's just like, like this is so new. And like even for me, but it's so right, so there is still that just like
dance
that I'm doing all the time,
on the immortal stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I feel like when I said earlier, I was like, I know where my feet are going. It's like going in that direction. What I look like while I'm going there, I don't know like what it's going to look like, but I know where my feet want to take me. Like, yeah.
I'm like, my eyes are like being drawn to your necklace right now. Like when you mentioned the dark goddess, it was like, Kung!
Well, this is my amulet or talisman or what, this is the dark goddess. Like when I put this on, I'm just like, okay, I'm open for you.
Yeah.
And, like we're available, and so that's like for me when I put this on and yeah. And very much with like Morgan, actually. Yeah. Was like years ago, I like consecrated this to her. I was like, please, like be in my heart when I wear this. And there's like so much playfulness with it too. That's the other thing that I long to bring that more to like, the beauty way being like shadow work with a side of laughter. And like not taking ourselves so seriously too. That's big medicine.
The shadow work, like taking it too seriously.
It's the worst. Like I did, and I only know that's the worst because like it was the worst for me to like just keep like dragging on. And at some point, like it's just like make fun of yourself, like in a literal way, like make fun of myself, make it fun.
Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah. So, and that's such medicine too, to like kind of pop the illusion of like when you're deep in like doing spiritual shadow work, you're just like, you can just pop that and just, yeah, totally. I'll say, so let's bring it down just a little bit. So with Morgan last weekend, I didn't share this video with you, but when I went to the woods and I'm like ready to experience, I was there the week before, I had connected with this beautiful tree, like feeling all my elemental, like happy, beautiful, like flowing with the energy of the forest and the trees. And I was like, okay, that's what I need right now. I'm going to experience that. And I walk into the woods. I've never seen ravens in Charlottesville, crows, ravens, never seen them here. Like, I'm sure they're here, never seen them. There were probably 12 to 15 crows, ravens in the forest. And we had been, I don't know if we even spoke about it, but our energies are connecting around kind of the dark earth and like the soil and the goddess and like, just our energies were there. So it was in my mind. And Morgan was like really with me last weekend. And I walk into the forest and I see the ravens and I feel them. And they are like, caw, and the cacophony and their black wings are flying around. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, so it's one thing to conceptualize the dark goddess, and that it's another thing to have it step into your physical reality and start stepping into more of your, which again, I also feel like is part of the energies that we're in right now, is that these mental concepts, or more maybe concepts that were a little bit farther away or that about, but now they're coming into your body and now they're coming into your reality.
Yeah.
physical reality.
Yes.
And so the dark goddess was like with me, and I was like, whoa, this is a whole different this energy, because I feel very comfortable in the dark, and it counterbalances when I can go into the absolute, like my heart cracks open and I can swim and just be the most pure essence that I can embody, this golden light. But it's also counterbalanced with the darkness, and I'm like, I'm very comfortable here, like it's, but then when I walked in, I was like, I'm not so as comfortable as I thought I was with the reality of the dark goddess energy.
Yeah.
Hello. Like she was introducing herself, and I was like, whoa. So anyway, just bringing it into our reality, like the concepts into our everyday life.
Yeah.
That was definitely not an initiation, but she was kind of saying hello. And so when I'm speaking about it, it was also so with the words, when, because I know we were going to connect around this and speak about this, but also just this feeling of, like respect and using the words precisely, and the energy of integrity. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but just having it be more in the physical, in my physical. Yeah, that's what it is. I feel very comfortable with the darkness, and I've journeyed into it, and we've, done the dance. And a lot of people haven't done that necessarily. And for me to get uncomfortable with it in my physical reality, I'm imagining how people might feel even with the concept of the darkness. Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Well, I was so like when you were talking about that with like the crows, and I can just like, oh yes, the power that comes with really understanding like the fullness of who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what.
Yes. Thank you.
Because we're both like we're both the dark goddess and the that more like
maiden. We're the maiden. It's Persephone. It's like the maiden of springtime and the queen of death. They're the same.
It's the same.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, continue.
Well, it's just powerful, right? And I see, I know you, and there's that like openness to like, okay, I'm inviting in like more and more of myself, right? And like and that invites in our power.
Yes.
That relationship with our own power is like what I was like here when you were like, that is like a little bit of that like initiation into just like, here you go, here's a taste of that, like, like being in communion with the natural elements around you, because that's an incredible, that's personally where I'm like focused right now. And so like, thanks for sharing that. Cause I just, yes, I love that.
Yeah. And I feel, because of course, like my essence wants to bring this through, it's, so yes, like in the darkness, that is where we go deep, and we can alchemize into the gold, and we can go and excavate our true gifts from the darkness. And that's also such a realm of the fairy magic, and working with the elements of the earth, and initiations with the multidimensional beings of our planet. That is the core, like that's the like the beginning.
Yes.
That's like the first step you take, is descending into the underworld. It's not like the last step you take to reclaim your power. That's the first step you take.
Yes.
And so I think for a lot of people, I want to mention, just tying in with the fear around the dark goddess, there's also can be a fear, I think, of working with the energies of our planet, you could say, or because they do ask that you descend into the underworld within yourself and within the planet. And they ask for you to reclaim who you are and stand in your power, so that you can be a partner and an ally to the planet right now. And to do that, it's not just surface layer, golden, loving energy, because it is that, but it asks that you reclaim your power as a human. And to do that, the earth initiates you into the depths. And I think for a lot of people, sometimes they can sense that or feel that and be like, that's scary, or I'm not going into that. I'm not going to work with the dragons. I'm not going to work with the primal powers of our planet. And like, because it's the first step is asking you to go there, you know? And when that comes to you, especially let's say as perhaps a guide or a being of the Gaian realms comes to you, if you're not going deep and facing that, that's the first thing you'll see is the reflection of your shadow. And so it can look really scary.
Yeah.
And like, because it's reflecting to you, you need to descend into your power. And maybe it's the same with the dark goddess type of energy. When it comes to you, it looks scary because it's your own shadow and it's inviting you to step into your power. And like,
right.
And that's the first step.
Yeah.
It's not the end. That's not even that's, do you know what I'm saying? That's
absolutely
like how we.
Absolutely.
Right. And then, yeah. And I think you descend multiple times. I don't think you descend just once, but the first time is the hardest.
Yes.
Or maybe not. That's not even true. But
I think, I mean, there's like this journey that I always kind of, this path, it's like I'm headed up this way, but it's like, whoa, okay. And then back up.
Yeah.
Oh God, I back down again. And then it's back. But I like my lowest point is still better than like even my highest points like 5 years ago.
Right.
So it's like that, like just keeping that like perspective, even when things feel like in this moment, like, wow, this is a lot, this is a lot to look at or a lot to handle, but it's like, but I'm equipped. Like I've been like gathering my tools and I've been gathering my truth, and so it's like, it's just a continuing to, because that's how it is for me. It's this like expanding and contracting and expanding more and like contracting a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, I love everything that you just said like so much. That was really powerful, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you go into the depths, that's where our greatest gifts is, but it's also when you go into the depths, it's not that you are going to channel this evil power, this power that's dark. It's pure love.
Yeah.
And the force of it is scary. Like it's like a tsunami, but it's not. I think that was really important for me to realize, and we can like share this. But it's like the power that you feel, that like fierce power that's almost a little bit scary to step into, especially because you're descending to the dark and you're like, is this safe to embody? Is this safe to go into? This is powerful. And it's like, I'm in the darkness, but yet the power is, it's love.
Yeah.
Like that, and like, that is like, oh, it's safe. It's safe. Me. This is my essence. I'm safe to go through the darkness. It's not something that is evil. It's just like waiting to be reclaimed.
I love that.
What a heroic human. Like, what a powerful thing we do as humans. That journey.
And we're beautiful. Yes. I know. It's like, it's really like, aside from like giving birth to a child, like that's that, and even that, like, I don't know, it's up there. It's up there with like one of the most like beautiful things, to say yes.
Yeah. I have this feeling I see of like what we are stepping into as humans, and like what we will be and what we are and like what we're becoming and what we will be like when we descend into the depths of our collective, like when we do it individually, but then when we arise together, like what that looks like. And like it's just the beginning of what we can play and what we can create on earth, and not in a magical, fantastical kind of way, just in a very, well, maybe it is magical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like what the human spirit can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love humanity and our magic. Yeah. The magic of being human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think my AC is out. I'm like flushed.
It's warm in here.
Yeah, me too.
Warm in here. So
anyway,
it was amazing.
That was good. with my experience of staying in Sedona and a lot of the experiences of traveling out and kind of astral travel, even at nighttime, even unintentionally doing that, and a lot of kind of out-of-body experiences that were really powerful, I landed back in my body. And I saw all of these little tiny etheric paper cuts in my field because I wasn't in my body. And I felt all these paper cuts, and I remember being enraged, like actually enraged and just furious, and just had this rage in me. But it was also, I realized I wasn't physically in my body, and I was doing a lot of these work with and you had to be so precise with the energy, and just, there was a lot that happened last summer. And I remember very distinctly, I understand it now, as a council of dragons came in and held the boundaries for me to reestablish my own boundaries. They just held space for me to be able to integrate and feel my emotions, because I was almost afraid on land like Sedona, especially where we were staying, that if you start to go into some of your darker, you're starting to feel things and let it come up and integrate it. I almost was afraid that I would manifest something, because the land was so powerful. It was just...
I've like really developed that sort of like training within myself to be able to commune with like other beings. Mm-hmm. What's happened this summer as I've started to really study magic is that like that falls away, and it's just like me with me, and it's this like really sacred inner communion.
I want to extend my deepest gratitude that you watched our video today, that you watched today's episode. If you would share these conversations with the people in your life that you love, the people in your life who are on this path with you, the people in your life that you want to deepen your sisterhood or your brotherhood with by exploring some of these topics together, please share these videos. And it would just be so helpful if you could take a moment and like and subscribe so you don't miss any other episodes or other videos that are coming out around these topics. It would mean so much to me. I'm so grateful to have you here. I hope you have a beautiful day.